missed. Bam, there we go. Alrighty, continuing to march, and gonna, at 6:02 p.m. we're gonna go take a look at the National Weather Service report coming forth from Stockton Metropolitan Airport. Conditions are fair. It is 61 degrees Fahrenheit. Recent update was at 5:20 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Humidity at 51%, wind speed calm, barometer at 30.09 inches of mercury, dew point 43 degrees Fahrenheit, visibility at 10 miles. And let us look some more here at this fine report by our finest government in the world, the United States government. Tonight it's partly cloudy, low of 48, so right near the dew point. Monday during the day, 40% chance of showers with a high of 67. Monday night, chance of showers, then mostly cloudy with a low of 51. Tuesday, we're looking at partly sunny with a high of 65. Tuesday night, 30% starts out partly cloudy, and then a chance of showers of 30% in the morning time, a low of 47 degrees. Wednesday, during the day, showers likely at 70% chance with a high of 61 degrees. Wednesday night, showers likely, 60% probability with a low of 50 degrees. Thursday, chance of showers with a high of 60 degrees. And Thursday night, partly cloudy with a low of 42. Yeah, once that cloud cover goes off, it drops 8 degrees consistently. So let us keep a rolling here. It is for the time for the Sunday Night Islam show, and we got lots to do. And this ain't, hold on, I'm going to do a few more things here. There's we do want creators, producers, communicators, collaborators, managers, supporters, helpers. We want you. We don't pay, but you can gain experience in radio and video work right here at 231 West Bedford Road. We have announcements up, and I'd like to give you a word from our sponsors. And we have wonderful sponsors. I love to talk our sponsors up. Hotel Furniture Liquidators, they're over at 1646 North Shaw Road. That's over there off, I believe, West Fremont, or it could be Cherokee. But anyways, over on the east side, 1646 North Shaw Road is Hotel Furniture Liquidators. Continuing to march, we got the Miracle Mile Bookstore at 2210 Pacific Avenue, and Doors Book Recyclery at 2310 Pacific Avenue. Fong Tu keeps it stocked. Give her a call if you got books to pass along. And Custom Plastics and Signs at 326 East Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard. That's right there at San Joaquin. There's plastic fabrication. They'll make displays. They'll print business cards and t-shirts and signs and stencils, vehicle and boat graphics. That stuff is beautiful. And yes, they got lots of plastic sheets, plastic rods, and plastic tubes. Hey, for your computer needs, Millennium Computer Repair. They buy, sell, and trade old computers. Their lowest prices in town for parts and old computers. Give them a call at 922-1879. Also, Millennium computer repair will get rid of virus and spyware, enhance performance, get rid of, you can overcome the, you could get data backup and password removal. Habitat for Humanity, great organization, they build houses. Restore, they got the Restore. HVAC, electrical, plumbing, doors, windows, furniture, they got it. 4933 West Lane, about 100 yards south of March Lane on West Lane, 4933 West Lane here in Stockton. Tender donuts, we bake fresh daily. That's Chanarith Sam and Civ Sam. Open 7 days a week, 5:30 a.m. they open on Sundays, and 4:30 a.m. Mondays through Saturdays, and stay open till 6 p.m. T-shirts and business cards printed at Leaders at 500 East Lodi Avenue, Suite A at Garfield in Lodi. Alrighty, let us continue to march. We got 6:08 p.m. here at the Voice of Stockton. And, okay, we need to proceed with getting the audition rolling. And that will be a delete. And let us get up to what this, we're going to label this show 2017-12 Islam show. Okay. Here we go. We're going to 3, 2, 1, 6:08 p.m. Looking at start. 1, 2, 3. Oh, what the heck? The file name contains illegal characters. File name are not permitted to have any of the following characters. Oh, okay, colon. Okay. Alrighty. Can just delete that, go back to where we started from, 2017-11-12. I'm going to go with Sunday Islam show. Alrighty. See if they like that. 3, 2, 1, 6:10 p.m. Start time for the Sunday evening Islam show. Good evening, world. Good evening, Stockton. To all those listening in on the voiceofstockton.org, greetings. This is Richard Slezak. We got 6:10 p.m. here at the Voice of Stockton. I'm going to migrate over to the big table and get to reading. Oh, and greeting. Good evening. It hasn't been since the 29th of October that we have done an Islam show. Please forgive me. We're soundproofing walls around here, and I'm going to have to undo this headset, lead it back through underneath over here so it's not wire, so in with the wires. Should have had this done. Lots of fun. Here we go. Continuing to march, and forgive me for this, but part of it comes with a gig. Get your stuff set up right to begin with, and gotta have the headsets on in order to hear yourself, and got the cameras mounted in here a bit differently than what we have. We've got Peaceful Holiday Fair coming up December 21st, Friday 4 to 9, December 2nd, 10 to 2 at 3700 Pacific Avenue here in Stockton, California. And we're going to finish Sura 10 this evening, and we will be reading from a Quran that I attained by calling 1887, Why Islam? But this was about 10 years ago. And anyways, I'm going to just sneak it right there. Up, what do we got? What do we got? Here it is. Here's my free Quran. It's a 1991 Turkish translation. So it has footnotes, extensive footnotes. So I read this in full content. So with footnotes. So we're going to go forward march. Again, we read to verse 44, which is on page 132. By the way, we do have it. This is, again, I got it for free. They mailed it back, boom, right there on the front porch, in Arabic as well as English. So I don't read Arabic, I don't speak Arabic, I don't understand Arabic. So it's we're going to read from verse 45 on. And it's a few pages. That's 132 to 149. That's a good chunk. So here we go. Verse 45. So of the people who did wrong, the last remnant was cut off, and praise be to Allah, Lord of the worlds. And instead of thanking Allah, they disobeyed him and did wrong. Hence their Maker destroyed them, for he is the Lord, who is just in retribution, and who will not torment his righteous servants with the company of the evil. Verse 46, say, have you imagined if Allah should take away your hearing and your sight and seal your heart, who is the God who could restore it to you save Allah? See how we display the revelations to them, yet still they turn away. Say, can you see yourselves if the punishment of Allah come upon you unawares or openly? Will any pariah save the wrongdoing people? We send the messenger only to give good news and to warn. So those who believe and do right, no fear shall come upon them, neither will they grieve. But as for those who deny our revelations, torment will afflict them, for they used to disobey. Say, O Muhammad, to the disbelievers, I say not to you that I possess the treasures of Allah, nor that I have knowledge of the unseen. And I say not to you, I am an angel. I follow only that which is inspired in me. Say, are the blind man and the seer equal? Will you not then think? A footnote. The idolaters told the Prophet Muhammad, if you are only a messenger of Allah, then tell your Lord to shower us with his blessings, so that we can believe in you, otherwise we will not. Because of their disbelief, the above verse was revealed. For the mission of a prophet is not to make men rich with worldly blessings, but is to convey the message of eternity to them. Verse 51, warn them with those who fear, because they know that they will be gathered to their Lord, for whom there is no protecting friend nor intercessor beside him, that they may guard against evil. Interesting. 50 is on salvation. Continuing. Send not away those who call upon their Lord at morning and evening, seeking only to gain his favor. You are not by any means accountable for them, nor are they accountable for you, that you should turn them away and thus be of the wrongdoers. Footnote. Some of the rich and influential people of the Kerish thought it beneath their dignity to listen to the blessed prophet's teaching in company with the poor believers who were gathered around him. Because of the wish of those people, the prophet thought to send them away. But in the above verse, he was reminded not to do so, for those lowly disciples were the sincere seekers of God. Verse 53, and even so do we try some of them by others, that they say, are those they whom Allah favors among us? Is not Allah best aware of those who are grateful? A footnote. The idolaters could not stomach the equal treatment of lowly believers who themselves in the presence of the prophet. And continuing. Whoop, don't want to have my elbow right on my pans. We're in a footnote here. In the eyes of Allah, there is no discrimination of creatures except inwardly, on the basis of belief and piety. The idolaters were tried by God's justice and were found wanting. Verse 54, and when those who believe in our revelation come to you, say, peace be upon you, your Lord has prescribed for himself mercy, that those of you does evil and repents afterward and does right, for him assuredly Allah is forgiving, merciful. And that's one on salvation, duly noted. And continuing, verse 55, thus do we expound the revelations, that the way of the unrighteous may be manifest. Say, I am forbidden to worship those on whom you call instead of Allah. Say, I will not follow your desires, for then I would go astray and would not be rightly guided. And verse 57, say, I am relying on clear proof from my Lord, while you deny him. I do not have that for which you are impatient. The decision is for Allah only. He tells the truth, and he is the best of deciders. Say, if I had that for which you are impatient, the punishment they mockingly desired, the matter would be settled at once between you and me. But Allah knows best those who do wrong. Footnote. Thus, the blessed prophet is taught to deploy 4 segments against the pagans of Makkah. 1. I have received light and will follow it. 2, I prefer my light to your fantasies and desires. 3, your challenges. If there is a God, why does he not finish the blasphemous all at once? Is not for me to take up punishment rests with Allah. 4, if it rested with me, it would be for me to take up your challenge. All I know is that Allah is aware of the existence of folly and wickedness and many other things besides that no mortal can know. You can see little glimpses of his plan, and you can be sure that he will not be late in calling you to account. Verse 59, and with him are the keys of the unseen. None but he know them, and he knows what is and in the land and the sea. Not a leaf falls but with his knowledge, not a grain amid darkness of the earth, nothing of wet or dry, but it is noted in a clear record. Every movement and stillness is the vast expanses of the universe is fully known to him. A footnote here. And has been since before its creation, for he is the all-knowing. If this is his providence in the natural world, how can his attention to man be any less? Verse 74, verse 60. He it is who gathers you at night and knows that which you commit by day. Then he raises you again to life, therein that the term appointed for you may be accomplished, and afterward to him is your return. Then he will proclaim to you what you used to do. He is the omnipotent over his slaves. He sends guardians over you until when death comes to one of you, our messengers, angels assigned for that their special duty, receive him, and they neglect not. Then are mankind returned to Allah, their Lord, the just. Surely his is the judgment. He is the most swift of reckoners. And that's interesting. 60-61, God gathers dead at their ends. Alrighty, continuing. Verse 63, say, who delivers you from the darkness of the land and the sea? You call upon him humbly and secret, saying, if we are delivered from this fear, we truly will be of the thankful. Say, it is Allah who delivers you from this and from all other afflictions, yet you attribute partners to him. Okay. Say, he is able to send punishment upon you from above you or from beneath your feet, or to bewilder you with dissension and to make you taste the violence one of another. See how we display the revelations so that they may understand. Footnote, it is only by the grace of Allah that the immediate punishment is withheld from you. In the past, cities with crimes like yours were destroyed utterly. Verse 66, your people, O Muhammad, have denied it, though it is the truth. Say, I am not put in charge of you. I am not put. Change of you. The meaning is that it is the function of a prophet only to bring the reminder to his people, not to force them to accept it. Oh boy. 67. For every message there is a term, and you will come to know. And when you see those who meddle with our revelations, withdraw from them until they meddle with another topic. And if the devil cause you to forget, sit not after the remembrance with the congregation of wrongdoers. A footnote, during the Meccan period, the believers were not allowed to fight. The idolaters took advantage of this situation and mocked at the believers and the revelations that were being revealed by Allah. Because of this, Allah commanded the blessed prophet to leave their company, although the revelation was directly, specifically to the blessed prophet in the first instance. Its implications are applicable to all Muslims who find themselves in the company of blasphemy and evil, and yet love not the power it presents or prevent, and have no power to prevent it. Verse 69, those who ward off evil are not accountable for them at all, and it is their duty to remind them that they may perhaps fear Allah, and forsake those who take their religion for a pastime and an amusement, and when the life of the world deceives. Remind mankind with this, lest a soul be destroyed by what it earns. It has beside Allah no friend nor intercessor, and though it offer every compensation, it will not be accepted from it. Those are they who perish by what they have acquired. For them is drink of boiling water and a painful punishment because they disbelieved. Okay, now 70 is unbelief. Not to Islam. Okay, continuing. 71, say, shall we indeed call on others beside Allah to that which neither profits us nor hurts us, and shall we turn back after Allah has guided us like one bewildered when the devils have infatuated in the earth? Who has companions who invite him to the guidance, saying, come to us, say, surely the guidance of Allah is guidance, and we are ordered to surrender to the Lord of the worlds. Footnote. The verse clearly describes the inner turmoil of a soul which has accepted the one true God as Lord, and there retains to the worship of many gods. Confused and bewildered, his heart is in ruin. The devils have taken hold of him and drag him farther and farther into the wilderness. And yet the voices of the prophets and saints still come towards him, calling him back to the true and only guidance. A person who is intelligent and has the strength to fight off the devils will respond to the call and return to the way of the prophets, ultimately gaining the peace and security that he most desires. Verse 72, to establish regular prayers and to fear Allah, and he it is to whom you will be gathered. Alrighty, that's definitely a salvation one. 73, he it is who created the heavens and the earth in truth, in the day when he says, be it is. His word is the truth, and he will be the sovereignty on the day when the trumpet is blown. Knower of the unseen and the witnessed. He is the wise, the aware. Footnote, the prophet mentioned here a body of light which resembles a horn and is blown by the archangel Seraphiel to signal the end of the world. He shall blow it twice. The first time all the living creatures in the earth shall be slain, and only the one true God shall abide. Then he shall blow it again, and they shall return to life and await the judgment. Verse 74, remember when Abraham said to his father Azar, do you take idols for gods? Assuredly I see you and your people in manifest error. Azar is, that's an Arabic name. Terah is Abraham's father in Genesis and the book of Adam and Eve. The nation that Abraham was sent to as a prophet were the ancient Chaldeans who lived in northern Iraq. When Abraham saw his father and his people worshiping idols, he condemned them ardently, convinced that immobile statues made by human hands could neither be nor represent divinity. Verse 75, thus did we show Abraham the kingdom of the heavens and the earth, that he might be of those possessing certainty. Footnote, the word mulakat, here translated kingdom, means the realities behind the outward creation. Allah showed him the spiritual glories which underlie the magnificent powers and laws of the physical universe. Yeah, Malakat was the word. 76. When the night grew dark upon him, he saw a star. He said, this is my Lord. But when
it set, he said, I love not things that set. And when he saw the moon rising in splendor, he said, This is my Lord. But when it set, he said, Unless my Lord guide me, I surely shall become one of the people who are astray. And when he saw the sun rising in splendor, he cried, This is my Lord, this is greater. And when it set, he exclaimed, O my people, assuredly I am free from all that you associate with him. Assuredly I have turned my face toward him who created the heavens and the earth, as one by nature upright or righteous, and I am not of the polytheists. A footnote. The word himself used in the original text and here translated one by nature upright denotes someone who recognizes only one God, even if he has not received a religion from him. There are differences of opinions between the translation of the Holy Quran as to whether Abraham, upon him be peace, is here searching for the one true God, or theoretically demonstrating the absurdity of worshiping heavenly bodies. The latter opinion seems to be the more acceptable. Let me do a little wipe up here. Let's do a quick time check. Here at thevoiceofstockton.org, and we've been going, looks for about 30 minutes, and okay, we got 6:40 p.m. here at the Voice of Stockton. Let me take a moment. We're at verse 85, I believe. Got the spot. Okay. Now we can get back. And we have 6:40 p.m. here at thevoiceofstockton.org, webcasting from the John Moriarty Studio, 231 West Bedford Road, Stockton, California. I got two cameras aimed at me, and one over at an announcement, and one looking at the door, the studio door. So, continuing to march here in our 1991 The Glorious Quran, Turkish translation with extensive footnotes. Okay. Okay, verse 85. Okay. Those who believe not obscure, not worshiping. We were on. I should have beside him. Okay, that's 81. We're going to go to 82. Those who believe and obscure not their belief by wrongdoing, theirs is a safety, and they are rightly guided. That is our argument. We give it to Abraham against his people. We raise to degrees of wisdom, whom we will verily your Lord as wise aware. Argument. Hujay. Here could also be translated as wisdom, knowledge, dignity, and the ability to see and compare. Verse 84, and we bestowed him Isaac and Jacob, each of them we guided, and Noah did we guide aforetime, and of his seed we guided David and Solomon, and Job and Joseph, and Moses and Aaron. Thus do we reward the good. And Zechariah and John and Jesus and Elias, each one was of the righteous. Verse 86, and Ishmael and Elisha and Jonah and Lot, each one of them did we prefer above all creatures or nations. A footnote. The reason why those prophets were thus favored is explained in verse 89 below. Some prophets received only revelation, others received political authority and judgment as well. With some of their forefathers and their offspring and brethren, and we chose them and guided them to a straight path. Such is the guidance of Allah, with which he guides whom he will of his bondsmen. But if they had set up for worship anything beside him, all that they did would have been vain. Those are they to whom we gave the Scripture and commanded and prophethoods. But if those disbelieve therein, then indeed we shall entrust it to a people who will not be disbelievers therein. Those are they whom Allah guides, so follow their guidance. Say, O Muhammad, unto mankind I ask of you no reward, for it is assuredly it is nothing but a reminder to him, to his creatures. A footnote. Thus, to the mission of the blessed Prophet Muhammad, set in context, Islam is not a departure from God's way with mankind, and the Prophet is simply sent to remind humanity of the message taught by earlier prophets, which was then forgotten. Verse 91, and they measure not the power of Allah, its true measure, when they say Allah has revealed nothing to a human being. Say to the Jews who speak thus, who revealed the book for which Moses brought a light and guidance for mankind, which you have put on parchments, for which you show, but you hide much thereof, and by which you were taught that which you knew not yourselves, nor did your fathers know it? Say Allah, they leave them in their plunge into their graves. And this is a blessed scripture which we have revealed, conforming that which was revealed before it, that you may warn the mother of cities, Mecca, or Makkah, and those around her, those who believe in the hereafter believe therein, and they are careful of their prayers. A footnote. The city of Makkah is the spiritual center of Islam, being built around man's first house of worship, located at the axis of 3 continents. It is surrounded by the whole world. Thus it is one of the names of Makkah is the mother of cities. Who is guilty of more wrong, this is verse 93, than he who forges a lie against Allah, or says, I am inspired, when he is not inspired in anything, and who says, I will reveal the like of that which Allah has revealed. If you could see when the wrongdoers reach the pangs of death, and the angels stretch their hands out, saying, deliver up your souls. This day you are awarded the punishment of degradation for having spoken concerning Allah other than the truth, and having scorned his signs. A footnote. It is said that this verse was revealed in condemnation of false prophets, as Musaylama al-Kabad and Al-Aswad al-Ansi, most interesting, who, seeing the blessed prophet's success, falsely claimed that they too were prophets. They came to an evil end. Oh, wow. So this is worth noting. That was verse 93 and footnote. And footnote on other Arab prophets, contemporaries. Most interesting. Continuing. Verse 94. Have you come to us alone, as we did create you at the first, and you have left behind you all that woo! Wait. Continuing to march, pardon me. We bestowed upon you, and we behold not with you those your intercessors, of whom you claimed that they possessed a share in you. Now is the bond between you severed, and that which you presumed has failed you. Assuredly, it is Allah who splits the grain and the date stone. He brings forth the living from the dead, and brings forth the dead from the living, such as is Allah. How then are you deluded? He is the cleaver of the daybreak, and has appointed the night for stillness, and the sun and the moon for reckoning. That is the measure of the mighty, the wise. Wait, that's at verse 96. Pardon me. Wee. Maybe it's good the camera's not on me all the time. Wait. How embarrassing. Spores in the air. Let's be thankful for the biologic. Okay. Slip one out and slip one in. Bingo. Okay, verse 96. Okay, that I got that. The great, okay. that is the measuring of the mighty, the wise, the night, the day, the man, the sun, the moon, the great astronomical universe of God, how far and yet how near to us. His universe is boundless, and we can hardly comprehend its relation to us, but this we must try to do if we are to be numbered among those who have knowledge. Verse 97, and he it is who has set for you the stars, that you may guide your course by them amid the darkness of the land and sea. We have detailed our revelations for a people who have knowledge. And he it is who has produced you from a single soul, and has given you a foundation, a habitation, and a repository. We have detailed the signs, revelations, for a people who have understanding. Verse 98, footnote, the word habitation here means either the place of human habitation on the face of the earth, or the seed of the father, and the repository is either the womb of the mother or the grave. Verse 99, he it is who sends down water from the sky, and therewith we bring forth vegetation of every kind. We bring forth the green blade, from which we bring forth the thick clustered grain, and from the date palm, from the pollen thereof, spring pendant branches, and we bring forth gardens of grapes, and the olive and the pomegranate, alike and unalike. Look upon the fruit thereof when they bear fruit, and upon its ripening. Herein assuredly are signs for people who believe. Yet they ascribe as partners to him the jinn, although he did create them, and impute falsely, without knowledge, sons and daughters to him. Glorified be he, and high exalted above what they attribute to him. Originator of the heavens and the earth, how can he have a child when there is for him no consort, when he created all things and is aware of all things? Verse 102, such is Allah, when your Lord, there is no God save him, the creator of all things, so worship him, and he who takes care of all things. Vision comprehends him not, but he comprehends all vision. He is the subtle, the aware. Footnote, human frailty, faculties of sense perception cannot perceive he who by definition transcends them. But in the next life we are promised that the part of the soul, but the pure of soul, will experience a vision of him, thus being the supreme delight granted in the indwellers of the celestial garden. Verse 104, proof have come to you from your Lord, so who sees it is for his own good, and whoso is blind to his own hurt, and I am not a keeper over you. Footnote: just as Allah has given human beings physical eyes to see present things, He has also given us eyes of the heart, faculties of intuition, and physical revelation or realization, which enables us to recognize Him in a way which is direct and leaves no room for doubt. And let me do a sound and computer check and check the, come on, wake up. Okay, got 6:58 p.m. here at the Voice of Stockton, and that continues to rock. Yeah, I've been on now about 49 minutes into the show, continuing to march. Oh my. Okay, verse 105. Thus do we deploy our signs, revelations, that they may say to you, Mohammed, you have studied, and that we may make it clear for people who have knowledge. Follow that which is inspired in you from your Lord. There is no God save Him, and turn away from the polytheists. Had Allah willed, they had not been polytheists. We have not set you as a keeper over them, nor are you responsible for them. Revile not those to whom they pray besides Allah, lest they wrongfully revile Allah through ignorance. Thus to every nation have we made their conduct seem fair. Then to their Lord is their return, and He will tell them what they used to do. A footnote. The verse says, lays it down as a principle of dialogue that Muslims should not insult the objects of devotion venerated by others. Here the case of idols is presented, and as how much more important must be he to refrain from insulting the deities of others, whose when those deities are those of a higher religion. When explaining the fallacies of a certain belief, one must not descend into abuse, for this will have no effect and may cause the listener to be repelled or even to curse the God to whom he is being called. Okay, we're there. 109 coming up. Let me come over here. It is 7:01 p.m. You are webtuned to the voice of Stockton.org. This is the Sunday Night Islam Show with your host, Richard Slezak. We're reading through Sura 6 from the 1991 Turkish translation. That is the glorious Quran. Continuing at verse 109. And they swear a solemn oath by Allah that if there come to them sign, they will believe on it. Say, signs are with Allah, and so is that which tells you that if such came to them, they would not believe. We confound their hearts and their eyes, as they believed not therein at the first. We let them wander blindly on in their contumacy. Verse 111, and though we should send down the angels to them, and the dead should speak to them, and we should gather against them all things in army, they would not believe unless Allah so willed, but most of them are ignorant. A footnote, those who go astray, not because of an insufficiency of proof, but because of their obstinacy, are the most misled and satanically inspired of all rejectors of the reminder. Thus have we appointed to every prophet and adversary devils of human kind, and just who inspire in one another with flowery discourse by way of deception. If your Lord willed, they would not do so. So leave them alone with their devising, that the heart of those who do not believe in the hereafter may incline therein, and that they may take pleasure therein, and that they may earn from it what they may. Shall I seek other than Allah for a judgment when He it is who has revealed to you this scripture fully explained? Those to whom we gave the scriptures previously know that it is revealed from your Lord as truth. So be not you, O Muhammad, O those who waver. A footnote, the intelligent must seek no other standard of judgment but the divine will. How can he fail in this when the book explains? He will in a fashion intelligible both to the simple and to the intellectual. Perfected is the word of your Lord in truth and justice. This is verse 115. There is nothing that can change his words. He is the hearer, the knower. If you obeyed most of those on earth, they would mislead you far from Allah's way. They follow not but an opinion, and they do but guess. It is your Lord who knows best, who strays from his way, and knows best who are the rightly guided. Eat of the over which the name of Allah has been mentioned, if you are believers in his revelations. How should you not eat of meats over which the name of Allah has been mentioned, when he has explained to you that which is forbidden to you, unless you are compelled by necessity. But many do mislead men by their own desires through ignorance. Your Lord knows best those who transgress. Forsake all sin, open or secret. Those who earn sin will be awarded that which they have earned. Interesting. Okay. 119, 120 on salvation. Uh, 121, and eat not of meats on which Allah's name has not been mentioned. That would be a foulness. The devils inspire their friends to dispute with you, but if you obey them, you will be, in truth, idolaters. A footnote. In the name of God has not been mentioned during the slaughter of an animal. Its life has been taken wrongly, and no Muslim may eat of its meat. So, yeah, the blessing order. 121, meat blessing is halal. Okay, 122, is he who is dead, and we have raised him to life and set him a light wherein he walks among men, as him whose similitude is in utter darkness, for which he can never come out. Thus is their conduct made far seeming for the disbelievers. And thus have we made in every city great ones of its wicked ones, that they should plot therein. They do but plot against themselves, though they perceive not. And so, yeah, 122, 123, well, 122 is on salvation as well. Continuing, 123, and 124, and when a sign comes to them, they say, we will not believe until we are given that which Allah's messengers are given. Allah knows best with whom to place his message. Humiliation from Allah and heavy punishment will smite the guilty for their plot. And so also 124, he whom Allah wills to guide, he expands his breast to Islam, while with those whom he will to leave straying, he makes their breast close and narrow as if they were ascending on the skies, that Allah lays ignominy upon those who believe not. Okay, 125a is the salvation part, then the rejection is B. Okay, above 20,000 meters, man cannot breathe without special equipment, As he rises to the heights, his breath becomes laborious, and thus provides a simile for those who endeavor to live properly without spiritual oxygen. This is the path of your Lord, a straight path. We have detailed our revelations for a people who take heed. For them is the home of peace with their Lord. He will be their protecting friend because of what they used to do. In the day when he will gather them together, he will say, O you assembly of the jinn, many of humankind did you seduce, and their adherents among humankind will say, Our Lord, we enjoyed one another. But now we have arrived at the appointed term which you appointed for us. He will say, Fire is your home, dwell therein forever, except him whom Allah wills to believe, for your Lord is wise, aware. Okay, 128's a kind of sorta salvation / judgment kind of verse. It kind of has elements of both, and that was 128. 129, thus we let some of the wrongdoers have power over others because of what they are wont to earn. O assembly of the jinn and humankind, did there not come to your messengers of your own, who recounted to you my tokens and warned you of the meeting of this your day? They will say, we testify against ourselves, and the life of the world deceived them, and they testify against themselves that they were disbelievers. Ooh. 130, disbelievers testify such. Okay, continuing. This is because your Lord destroys not the cities for their wrongdoing while their occupants are unwarned. Continuing to march. Verse 132, for all there will be ranks from what they did. Your Lord is not unaware of what they do. Your Lord is the self-sufficient, the Lord of mercy. He will, if he will, he can remove you and can cause what he will to follow after you, even as he raised you from the seed of other people. That which you are promised will surely come, and you cannot escape, a reference to the day of judgment. Say, O Muhammad, verse 135, O my people, work according to your power. Surely I too am working. Thus you will come to know for which of us will be the happy outcome. Surely the wrongdoers will not be successful. They assign to Allah of the crops and cattle which he created a portion, and they say, this is Allah's in their make-believe, and thus is for his partners in regard to us. Thus that which they assign unto his partners in them does not reach Allah, and that which they assign to Allah goes to their so-called partners. Evil is their ordinance. A footnote. In the time of ignorance, the pagan Arabs used to divide their harvest between their animals and their idols. They would say, this is the share of the animals, this is the share of the idols. The shares assigned to the partners went to the priests and hangers-on of the partners, who were many and clamorous for their rights. The share assigned to Allah possibly went to the poor, but more probably went to the priest who had the cult of the partners, for the supreme God had no separate priests of their own. It is also said that when heaps were thus laid out, if any portion of Allah's heap fell into the heaps of the partners, the priests greedily and promptly appropriated, while in the contrary case, the partners' priests were careful to reclaim any portion from what they called Allah's heap. The absurdity of the whole thing is here ridiculed. Page 6, verse 137. Thus have their so-called partners of Allah made the killing of their children to seem fair to many of the polytheists, that they may ruin them and make their faith obscure for them. Had Allah willed it otherwise, they had not done so. So leave them alone with their devices. And they say, such cattle and crops are forbidden. No one is to eat of them except we will in their make-believe. Cattle whose backs are forbidden, cattle over which they mention not the name of Allah, all that is a lie against him, he will repay them for that which they invest. Verse 139, and they say, that which is in the bellies of such cattle is reserved for our males and is forbidden to our wives. But if it born dead, then they all may be partakers of it thereof. He will reward them for their attributions of such ordinances to him, for he is wise, aware. They are losers who wantonly have slain their children without knowledge, and have forbidden that which Allah bestowed upon them, inventing a lie against Allah. They indeed have gone astray and are not guided. Wow. 140, and that is human sacrifice believers. Interesting. The footnote, the utterance is to the burial alive of female children who were deemed superfluous, and the practice of human sacrifice to idols. Verse 141, he it is who produces gardens realized and unrealized, and their date palm and crops of diverse flowers, and the olive and the pomegranate like and unlike. Eat you of the fruit thereof when they are in season, and pay the due thereof upon the harvest day, and waste not in excess. Assuredly, Allah loves not the waters. Oh, hey, you know what? 141 is Ag in Islam, so that suggests a Medinan origin. Okay, 142, and of the cattle he produces, some for burdens, some for food. Eat of that which Allah has bestowed upon you, and follow not the footsteps of the devil, for he is an open enemy to you. Okay, 143. 8 pairs of sheep, a pair, and of the goats a pair. Say has he forbidden the 2 males of the 2 females, or that which the wombs of the 2 females contain? Expound to me the case with knowledge, if you are truthful. And of the camel a pair, and of the oxens a pair. Say, has he forbidden the 2 males, or the 2 females, or that which the womb of the 2 females contained? Or were you there to witness when Allah commanded you all this? Then who does greater wrong than he who devises a lie concerning Allah, that he may lead mankind astray without knowledge? Surely Allah guides not a wrongdoing people. Say, I find not in that which is revealed to me anything of meat prohibited to an eater, that he eat thereof, except it be carrion, or blood poured forth, or swine flesh, for that assuredly is foul, or the abomination which was immolated to the name of other than Allah. But whoso is compelled thereto, neither craving nor transgressing, for him surely your Lord is forgiving, merciful. Verse 146, to those who were Jews we forbade every animal with claws, and of the oxen and the sheep forbade we to them the fat thereof, save that upon the backs of the entrails, or that which is mixed with the bone. And we awarded them for their rebellion, and we assuredly are truthful. A footnote, Leviticus 7 verse 23, you shall eat no manner of fat of oxen or of sheep or of goats, as regards the exception. If it is to be enticed or noticed that priests were enjoined in Leviticus 7 verses 3 and 6 to eat of the fat in the trespass offering, which was considered holy, that is, the many and the fat that covereth the inwards. Okay, verse 147. So if they give the lie to you, Mohammed, say, your Lord is a Lord of all-embracing mercy, and his wrath will never be withdrawn from guilty people. Okay. Those who ascribe partners to Allah will say, if Allah had wished, we should not have ascribed partners to him, nor would our fathers, nor should we have had any taboos. Thus did those who came before them argue falsely until they tasted of our wrath. Say, have you certain knowledge? If so, produce it before us. You follow nothing but conjecture, you do nothing but guess. Say, fear Allah is the final argument. Had he willed, he could have indeed guided all of you. And that's worth noting. Wait a minute. Say, for Allah is the final argument. Had he willed, he could have indeed have guided all of you. Footnote, as used by the pagans, the argument is false, for it implies, 1, that men have no personal responsibility, 2, that they are victims of determinism against which they are helpless, that they might, 3, that they might therefore go on doing just as they liked. It is also inconsistent, for if 2 is true, 3 cannot be true, nor is it meant to be taken seriously. Verse 150, say, come, bring your witnesses, who can hear witness that Allah forbade all this, and if they hear witness, do not you hear witness with them? Do not follow the whims of those who deny our revelations. Those who do not believe in the hereafter and deem others equal with their Lord. Say, come, I will recite to you that which your Lord has made sacred duty for you. Then you ascribe nothing as partner to him and that you do good to parents, and that you slay not your children on a plea of want. We provide for you and for them, and that you draw not near to you, that you slay not the life which Allah has made sacred except in the course of justice, and this he has commanded you to order that you may learn wisdom. And our last, that was verse 151, 152, going to 165, I believe. Yes. Continuing, good place for check here. Got 13 verses left, and time is 7:33 p.m. You are webtuned to the voice of Stockton.org, and we are completing Sura 6 in the 1991 Turkish translation here on the Sunday Night Islam show. And so far we've been about 2 hours and 5 minutes into this, and we're in the home stretch. Got about 13 verses left. So here we go. Verse 152. And approach not the wealth of the orphans, save with which is better, until he reaches maturity. Give full measure and full weight in justice. We burden not any soul beyond its scope, and if you give your word, do justice thereunto, even though it be against a kinsman, and fulfill the covenant of Allah. This he commands you, that you may perhaps remember. And he commands you, saying, This is my straight path, so follow it. Follow not other ways, lest you be parted from his way. This has he ordained for you, that you may fear him. Verses 151 through 153 contain the famous 10 Commandments, which has been given to all prophets, from Adam to the Prophet Mohammed. Oh, I'll make note of that. 51 through 153, 10 Commandments. Upon Muslims. Um, 154. Again, we gave the scriptures to Moses, complete for him who would do good, an explanation of all things, a guidance and a mercy, that they might believe in the meeting with their Lord. And this is a blessed scripture which we have revealed. So follow it and fear Allah, that you may find mercy, lest you should say, the scripture was revealed only to 2 people, Christians and Jews, before us, and we in fact are unaware of what they read. Or lest you should say, if the scriptures had been revealed to us, we surely had been better guided than they. Now has there come to you a clear proof from your Lord, a guidance and a mercy, and who does greater wrong than he who denies the revelations of Allah and turns away from them? We award to those who turn away from our revelations of severe penalty because of their aversion. Oh my. 156, 157. That is Quran and Bible for people came to each people. 158. Do they want for nothing less that the angel should come to them as your Lord should come, or there should come one of the signs from your Lord in the day when one of the signs from your Lord comes? Its belief will do no good to a soul which previously believed not, nor in its belief earned good by works. Say, wait, you assuredly, we too are waiting. Footnote, the signs of the end of the world would prove Islam to them, but by then it would be too late. According to the Quran and our blessed Prophet, the principal such signs are the appearance of smoke and appearance of beast creeping upon the earth, the appearance of the Antichrist, and rising of the sun from the west, the appearance of Gog and Magog, and the appearance of the fire of Aden. And 158 in footnote, end times. Oh my. Continuing. As for those who divide their religion and become divided into different sects, no concerns at all have you with them. Their case will go to Allah, who will tell them what they used to do. Footnote, divide their religion, in other words, one, make a distinction between one part of it and another, take the part which suits them and rejects the rest. 2. The religion one day in the week and plunge into the world for the other 6. 3. Keep religion in its right place as if it did not claim to govern and uplift all of life, thereby making a distinction between the secular and the religious. 4. Show a sectarian bias seeking difference of views in order to attempt to destroy Islam's unity. With 159 and footnote dividing religion. $160. Whoso brings a good deed will receive tenfold the like thereof, and who brings an evil deed will be awarded but the like thereof, and they will not be wronged. So as for me, my Lord has guided me to a straight path, a right religion, the community of Abraham the upright, who was not one of the polytheists. So 160, 161 are definitely on salvation. Oh my. Continuing. 162. Say, truly, my worship and my sacrifice and my living and my dying are for Allah, Lord of the worlds. The footnote, the word nikak or nusalt commonly means a sacrifice, but have been for more general sense of worship. 163, he has no partner. This am I communicating, thus am I commanded, and I am first of those who surrender to him. Say, shall I seek another than Allah for Lord when he is Lord of all things? Each soul earns only on its own account, nor do my laden bear another's load. Then to your Lord is your return, and he will tell you that wherein you differed. So 164 is definitely on salvation, and judgment as well. He it is who has placed you as vice-regents of the earth, and has excited some of you in rank above others, that he may try you by the rest of that which he has given you. Assuredly your Lord is swift in punishment, and assuredly he is forgiving, merciful. And that was verse 165, thus ending Sura 6, thus ending the Meccan or Meccan surahs. We've read them all through these microphones. And so it's been a pleasure being with you through this. Next show we're going to venture into salvation in the Meccan surahs. So I'll be going, not all surahs mention salvation, but about 40 of the 85 Meccan surahs do. So let me get a time mark here. Getting on with this evening, Sunday evening, wonderful Sunday evening. And yeah, that's 1:20, 25, 30, hour and 35 minutes so far of this fine show, 7:46 p.m. So this has been the Sunday Night Islam show for November 12th. Hope you had a good Veterans Day yesterday, Armistice Day. And so thanks for being with us. And next show, again, we're going to be getting into salvation in the Meccan surahs. So we'll
with that, hopefully be seeing you next Sunday night from the John Moriarty Studios. This has been the voice of Stockton.org. Richard Slezak bringing you the Sunday Night Islam show. Alrighty, here we go. We're going to put on some other things now. Well, first I got to take down the YouTube and Facebook. Thank you for being with us, folks, here on Slezak Radio. And it's a good long show tonight. Hope you've enjoyed it. And yes, I do want to